Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you for being with me again today. I read in a book a long time ago about civilizations and civilizing man, and it expressed some characteristics of civilizing man versus the static, not moving man, and it was talking about men that create nations and the nations that are civilizing nations and nations that are civilized by the civilizing nations. I read this as a general, interest and to know about it. And they were making the point that civilizing countries or civilizing nations or civilizing people are ones that are active, proactive, not retroactive. That is, people who or nations that act on their own interest and they develop stuff, they invent stuff, innovate issues, but they act. They're very active. They don't react like like the countries that are civilized by these civilizing countries or nations are the ones that receive civilization, receive inventions, innovations, new stuff, new ways of doing things. They don't create. They're not creators. The other ones are creators. So the civilizing superior, if you want, individual is the creator of something, good or bad. It's the action, the active, not the retroactive. Why I made this little introduction is because I'm going to talk about Turkey. I have no previous admiration or ever admiration, let's put it this way, extreme admiration for Turkey. I think, okay, I'm familiar with their history because it was tangled with the Romanian history. I'm familiar with, certain things, but I was not really impressed by Turkey in any, it was okay, Turkey over there, something, another country. But since this president, Erdogan, who is as he is, it seems to me that the country became a civilizing country, an active country, a country that looks at its own interests and does it without asking permission from other actors. So a creative country, creative of good or evil, it doesn't matter. It's just that it creates something. It goes in one direction without asking for, as I said, permission. Like other countries, like look at Romania, look at Germany, look at I don't know, Bosnia. What are they doing? Nothing. Look at Italy, nothing. What are they doing? Sitting over there and not doing anything on the international arena. That's what I'm talking about. They don't move. They don't do anything. They have nothing. But Turkey, I will give you a few examples from Turkey. What Turkey did. Turkey was playing and is playing a very important geopolitical and strategic role where it's located. Turkey made some deals with Russia for some pipes, gas pipes, oil pipes, whatever pipes. They did that. Germany did that too. But it's Turkey. Outside of Germany, it's a very important pipe that will provide Europe with resources from Russia, which right now I think it's on a standby. Then it did what? It got involved in Syrian war. It attacked its Kurds over there. Not good from the outside, but we don't know their interest. From their perspective, very good. From our perspective, that who do not know a lot about it, it's like, oh my God, they invaded the Kurds. They kicked the Kurds. Well, the Kurds are not the saints on this one, okay? However you want it. Do they deserve a country? I don't know that nations deserve countries. They have to get countries. Because once you get a country and you can't hold it, then you lose it. Good example, Ukraine. Ukraine was given a country in 1918 after the Second World War, First World War, and they lost it in about a year, and they got swallowed by Soviet Union. Now they were given a country after 1991 or whatever, and now they're about to lose part of it. So in this case, Turkey is doing stuff outside of itself. It played the United States with F-16s when the United States said, we're not going to give you S-16 for whatever reasons. And Turkey said, yeah, okay, we're going to get the S-400s from Russians. They did. Americans were upset. So they got the S-400s. Then I say, okay, now are you going to give us the F-16s, or are we going to make some more deals with the Russians? Oh, no, we're going to give you. Okay, get it. They built a new bridge, one of the longest suspended bridge in the world, Turkey, over, I don't know, Dardanelles Straits or Bosphorus Strait. I'm not certain, but along, I don't know how many, 5,000 meters long or 7,000 meters, something long, like 4 miles, 6 kilometers, something like that. Turkey, who actually has a 75% inflation rate at this point. Not good. Erdogan is trying to play games within games, play a role in Russia-Ukraine thing. They want to play a role as mediators. Turkey. All right, they said, okay, we can maybe help with the blockade, with the grains blockade, the Russians, whatever, in the Black Sea. They want to play an important role. I didn't hear the Romanians doing anything. Did you? Did you hear about, I don't know, the Bosniaks or the, I don't know, Albanians doing it? No. Why? Why? So nevertheless, this article, I made all this, I don't know, because it's very interesting to look at Turkey, how active it is on its own, at least appears to be. So this new article comes from, NATO. They opposed on their own. They said, no, Finland, Sweden, no NATO for you. Unless you agree to certain things, don't support terrorism, blah, 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 blah. They're important. They had the courage. They had the courage and still have the courage to say no to everyone else. Now that shows balls. So Reuters from June 2nd, 2022. US-backed Syrian force warns against new Turkish attack. Russia alarmed. Now, the Syrian force is only one, should be only one, and that is Assad's force. Anything else, they're a little interests over there. They're not under Assad, which is a centralized command, centralized government of Syria. So everything that you hear Syrian forces, if you don't hear Assad, that means those are not, how should I put it, the forces of the Syrian army of nation. There are some areas, some warlords and so on. So what's going on here? Let's see. As you probably know, Turkey did some little incursions in Syria in the past, I don't know, week or so. So Turkey, the US-backed Syrian Democratic Forces, SDF, who are those? Backed democratic. Are they for the country with their leader Assad, or they try to destabilize and do a 2014 Ukrainian revolution? Said on Thursday, a new offensive threatened by Turkey in northern Syria would create a humanitarian crisis and undermine its campaign against the Islamic State group. I think that was eradicated, wasn't it? By the Russians, by Trump, by these guys. Still there? Seems like. SDF commander Mazlum Abdi called on all sides to prevent any new tragedies and support de-escalation. I see how de-escalation works in Ukraine. More weapons is de-escalation. So I don't know, is this the same language here? Warning that a new assault would fuel yet more displacement in Syria's 11-year-long conflict. I thought it was all over. Well, they tried to reignite it. Turkey, which has mounted 4 operations in northern Syria since 2016, has vowed a new offensive against the Kurdish YPG militia, the spearhead of the SDF, which is supported by the United States, we just heard here, which controls swathers of territory at the Turkish border. And the Turks have Kurds in southeastern part of Turkey, so that's not really good for them. While Turkey views the Kurdish-led forces in Syria as terrorists and national security threat, the United States views the SDF as an ally that has helped drive Islamic State from vast areas of Syria. Turkey is one of the several powers drawn into the war in Syria, where Russia backs the government. They were the only legitimate country invited by the legitimate government of Syria. That was Russia. No one else who got involved over there. Great Britain, Germans, French military, United States military, Turkish. That was an invasion, illegal invasion of a sovereign country. Okay, we got that straightened out. The only country that was invaded was Russia by the legitimate government. Everything else was an invasion. But you know, since these guys, forget about it, right? Turkey is one of the several powers drawn into the war in Syria, where Russia backed the government, was the only one invited actually. Russia, expressing alarm, said it hoped Turkey refrain from actions which could lead to a dangerous deterioration of the already difficult situation in Syria. A foreign ministry spokeswoman told Interfax news agency that if Ankara launched an attack, it would represent a direct violation of the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Syria, yes, and provoke further escalation of tensions. Washington, whose support for the SDF has long been a point of tension in ties with the NATO ally Turkey, has expressed concern, saying any new offensive would put at risk U.S. troops, which have a presence in Syria. What? What are they doing in Syria? What are U.S. troops doing in Syria? It's Syrian territory. What are they doing over there? It's like something happens in the United States between, I don't know, let's say Ohio and Indiana, and the Chinese come and drop troops in Illinois. What are you talking about? Without being asked by the U.S. government. How would that look? They wouldn't even dare to do that. Nevertheless, this guy did it. International law, bye-bye. On a visit to the Turkish town of Hatay, near Syrian border, the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations reiterated U.S. opposition to any military action. We think that that nothing should be done to break the ceasefire line that we have already been established. Linda Thomas Greenfield, low IQ, I tell you that. Just listen to her. President Erdogan said on Wednesday Turkey should rid Syria's Tal Rifat and Manbij area of terrorists, confirming the targets of the incursion and saying it would continue into other regions. Russian army helicopters have been making unusually frequent flights over northern areas held by the government or SDF over the last week. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, a US-based organization with reports on the conflict, said Turkey views the YPH as an extension of the Kurdistan Workers' Party, PKK, which is allegedly sheltered by Sweden, and that's why they said no NATO for you, which has been waging an insurgency since 1984, in which more than 40,000 people have been killed. Now, that's genocide, isn't it? Western governments, including the United States and European Union, designate the PKK as a terrorist organization. Not Sweden, though. All right, so this is how it is. If Turkey is a civilizator, an active creator, then it's going to create a big problem over there. But it has its own agenda, and I don't know exactly who Turkey is playing against, and for sure it plays for its own interest. But we'll find out. If Turkish destroys the balance over there with the Kurds, then obviously we're going to have again the Americans doing something over there, the Russians protecting the Syrian government and with the Syrian army. So we have another little war over there, and Russia has to divert his attention now. That's why they tried over there in Georgia for a little bit. And it was another place where I think Kurdistan, they tried to ignite another little hot war. Now, nevertheless, Turkey is there, is doing its own business, has problems with Greece, doesn't it? It calls the U.S. bases in Greece, the three that allegedly they will be planted over there, as direct threat to Turkey. What? So, and they demand those 12 islands that Greece has in the Mediterranean Sea, right? Or Aegean Sea. I'm not sure if it's, I think, Mediterranean by Turkey anyway, because there are some resources over there in the Mediterranean, on the floor of the sea. So you see, they have problems with everybody over there. I don't know who's going to be next. I don't know, Israel. They mend fences with Israel right now. They mend fences with Saudi Arabia. They're very active, very active. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.